Hey guys, today we're talking about LTV. What is it, how to calculate it, and what to do with it. LTV stands for lifetime value. In a business context, it's often referring to lifetime value of a customer. How much revenue does a single customer generate for your business over the lifetime of that customer? For example, a customer buys once from you, and then 3 months later, they really like your product and they buy another related product, or they buy that product again because it runs out of usefulness. This is a really important metric for your business to understand. The customers who buy multiple times from your business are what is going to make your business wealthy. If you have to continually pay, market, and fight for new customers, you're going to spend a lot of that potential profit in marketing and other channels. Most businesses do not leverage LTV enough, and they leave money on the table. Your business should be focusing on the customers with the highest LTV first, because over the lifetime of their relationship with you, they're going to be the ones that bring you the most money for the cheapest amount of dollars. In this tutorial, we're going to walk through how to do that for Shopify, specifically how to calculate a Shopify curve, a Shopify LTV curve using the tools that I'll provide. We have a free downloadable Google Sheet tool that will calculate all of this for you if you have a Shopify store. And we also include how to use this information in your business, including comparing two different products and how their LTV curves differ. So stay tuned and like or subscribe if you want more content like this. Hey guys, this is a quick video showing you how to use the Shopify LTV curves Google Sheet that I've made. I've created some instructions here, and I think that these should work, but this video walks through a couple of the common challenges that people run into. High level, getting the raw data from Shopify seems to have the most challenges for people just because everyone has different Shopify plans and versions and things like that. Okay, so we're going to start out with duplicating this Google Sheet into our own folder. And before I do that, I just want to say only make changes to these two tabs, the Shopify Raw and the LTV dashboard. Everything else is marked red because it has a bunch of formulas that we shouldn't be touching. Okay, I've duplicated this sheet, and now as example, Shopify LTV curves. And the first thing I'm going to do now is going to pulling raw data from Shopify. So I have here a Shopify store that is a small store, not a lot of repeat purchasers, but it'll work for what we're trying to do to show you how to do this. On the left-hand side, you're going to come down to Analytics. And from here, in the top right, there's a new exploration option. You're going to click on that, and that's going to open a page like this. Now, what we're going to do is not click in this box right here because this is an AI agent. We're going to click this arrow, which is going to open up a query, SQL query or ShopQL query. And then we're going to go back to our tab, and we're going to copy and paste this this query. Okay, now if you read the instructions, I have two queries here. This first one is for larger or higher plans or newer Shopify accounts. If you're on a lower plan, you might need to use something like this. Okay, so I'm going to first try this one, and I would recommend trying both. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to make sure when I paste it, it doesn't have any like extra parentheses, which sometimes can get placed there. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste, and I can see right away there are those annoying parentheses. I'm going to delete that parenthesis and delete that one. Okay, now it says it's a valid query. So now I'm going to click run. Okay, that worked pretty well. So didn't have any errors. And if I look at all these, it looks like at first, look that we have all of the column titles that we need. Now, if you ran into an error, and oftentimes the errors happen with these attribution channels, or sometimes with the returns. So returns can be sales reversals or returns. Again, just kind of depends on your Shopify version and plan and things. If you're having issues with that, oftentimes it'll suggest a different column, or you can try the other query that I placed here. Okay. Now, I also have no date range on this, but if you had a larger account, definitely want to include a date range because it could get really big really fast. Okay, I'm going to come over here now and download the data. Come to these three dots, and I click export, comma separated values, and I'm going to export that and then download it on my computer. Okay, now we're on step 2. We're going to copy and paste values only data into Shopify Raw tab, following the column order in Shopify Raw. Make sure the long numbers get pasted in, no scientific notation, no dollar signs, stuff like that. Okay, so Shopify Raw, these are the columns I'm interested in, and I basically just need to make sure that when I copy and paste the data in, it matches those column names. Okay, so let's open up this data we have here. So looking at these column names, they look about right. But first I need to check the data types here, and I can see that this column, order ID and customer ID, they both have scientific notation. That's really common. So I'm going to just change that to a number and get rid of those decimal points. Okay. And everything else looks good. So I'm going to copy and paste this whole thing. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to right click, paste special, and do values only. And what I'm going to look for is row 2 is the columns I had in my CSV file. Row 1 is the data I had in this, and I can see that they are matching exactly right. Now, if you're missing these 2 columns, like your attribution columns or something, and maybe your data looks like this, you're going to see right away that there's an offset happening. And essentially, you're just going to need to copy and paste this so the product title lines up with product title, gross sales, and implement that first. The attribution data isn't absolutely necessary for the high-level LTV views. Okay, so I reverse that. I'm going to delete this second extra row, and then we are going to go to the next step. Okay, next step is wait for data and formulas to load. And I can see right here that there is this calculating formulas bar going on, and it's really actually almost there. I'm just going to wait until that's finished. Okay, my bar is finished calculating, so now I can go to step 3, which is check the control panel to see that data is flowing. So if I come over to the control panel, I can see right there, I've got 3 products. Again, this is a small Shopify store, and then I've got my channels that are coming through, and I have the months of data. Again, this is a small thing, but if you have a larger Shopify account, this is going to show up much larger. Okay, so that's looking good. Step 3, we check that data. Now step 4, we want to test the LTV dashboard. We want to see if there's anything there and play with some of the assumptions to see what it looks like. Okay, so here is the LTV dashboard right here, and as you can see, the data is populating. There are lines for each cohort of month. There's a line for gross margin LTV by quarter and cumulative LTV by quarter here. Now, it's not going to be looking very impressive because, once again, I used some sample data, again, just to be careful with client privacy. But I'm going to show you right now another example from a real client with some real data and show you how this is being used. Okay, so here's an example of a client of mine who I did this analysis for. They were, and as you can see, that we did the same process as we went through on this video, but the data was much more robust because they had a lot more products and a lot more sales data over time. And so what you can see is right now I have all products being included in this, all sources or channels. And so it's really just giving me, hey, how many of your customers for each of these months comes back and purchases again? LTV stands for lifetime value. And so you can see they have pretty good LTV curves. In month 0, their average purchases from a customer are, let's say $40. By 1 year in, their average purchase revenue has climbed up to about $55, $60. So they've had about a 50% increase, meaning 1.5 every other person who purchases from this client purchases again within a year. That's a really positive thing. Now, how do you use this information? I'm going to speak to a marketing perspective. What you want to do is start looking at this by product, and I'm going to show you an example right now. Okay, I have filtered row 2 for all 3 of these graphs to one specific product, and you can see right here that there's a loading bar for calculating formulas. This takes a little bit for the calculations to go through across all the pages and to pop up, and you can start to see right there it just popped up this graph and then these 2 graphs followed. Okay, so if you remember, the prior graph showed a nice curve from about $40 up to $60 over the course of a month. This product that I just filtered by is one of the largest products in their marketing funnel. And unfortunately, the LTV curve is pretty flat, meaning month 0, let's say the average purchase was around $25. By month 12, that average purchase was maybe $26 or $27. Really small increases. Now, if I had more time, wanted to get deeper, I would choose the most important cohort months. I'm just kind of looking at averages right now. But the reason this becomes important is their marketing engine is not optimizing to LTV. When we optimize to LTV, we want to look at a long-term view because that's where the real value of the customer comes. If they were optimizing to LTV, they would be pushing more of their products that have long-term repeat purchases because those are more valuable customers. But they have not incorporated this into their optimization yet. And so this is where LTV gets really important. LTV is generally what drives massive value for the most successful companies. They buy a customer once and they don't have to buy that customer again as that customer continues to purchase from them. So if you don't understand your LTV, what products or what sources, what channels are driving that LTV, these types of graphs can help you. Last thing, which I won't have time to go through, there are a bunch of different channels that you can also filter by. So if I was going to, filter by organic Google, I would click this and it would slowly load and show me a different curve. And so you can do a lot with this, but keep in mind that your sample size needs to be large enough to create a decent LTV curve. And one reason I have a month cohort and a quarter cohort is for that exact reason, for sample size. So hopefully this was helpful.